Hey y'all, I am back for another review for Insecure. We have our glass of wine and our house clothes on. This is like a maxi dress that says Geek on it. And this was season 2, episode 2, Hella Questions for Insecure. I really liked this episode. I kind of knew it was going to be slowed down. First, take a drink with me if you having a drink. This one's called Hella Questions because basically, bitch, didn't nobody have no answers. Like, it wasn't hella great. There was, bitch, didn't nobody know nothing. Of course, we know last episode, Issa and Lawrence slept together. So her and Molly are doing that thing, you know, that thing that we all do. We sit down and we try and figure out what this means. Does he still care about you? Does he blah, 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 blah. And the last time on episode 1, I reviewed it and I just thought, I was happy for Issa that this happened because it's going to propel her into the next stage of grieving the loss of this relationship because, honey, it is over. At least the relationship that she thought she had with Lawrence, it's over. Because they were not in a good space. It's just that they were together and they loved each other, but you still weren't in a good space. Them sleeping together kind of forces both of them to look at the realities of their relationship. And their problem was there was a lack of communication. You could see how there was a parallel with that moment when he slept with her. He was only thinking of himself and did not care about the emotional toll that it took on Issa. And Issa had done the same thing when she cheated on him, but she stays silent until shit starts to hit the fan and she lashes out. Hence the cheating. Him, he don't say nothing at all. He don't talk about his feelings, but he will allow himself to use somebody until they're done. Like, use them when he knows that they're in an emotional state. He does that with her and he does that with Tasha. When they're having that conversation, her and Molly, I start to think about how women, we have these wonderful relationships where we're able to dissect the ending, grieve it, move through it. That's why we move on, and most of the times they don't, because we're able to sort out our feelings about a relationship and create closure where you wouldn't get it from the partner. We create closure with them through our friends, and it's such a wonderful sort of relationship. With Lawrence, he has this fucked up light skin. He's the guy that cheats on his girl, likes being a player, so on and so forth, and he's the type that gives advice when don't nobody ask for none. He thinks he knows something because he doesn't have to feel, or he tries not to feel, and he's one of those type of dudes. So Lawrence hanging out with him doesn't really give him a chance to move through the stages of grief that you need to go through when you have a breakup. And of course with Lawrence, he goes on and moves on to Tasha, someone that's going to allow him to use them. So he is a user. He's not a nice guy. He's a user. He tries to hide behind this cloak of being a nice guy because he says all the things that nice guys will say, but he's still unsure about his life, and he still uses other people. And he seems, to be honest, slightly sad, or really not depressed. I don't want to use the word depressed, but his character seems to be generally unhappy with where he is in life, and he needs to deal with that first before he gets with any other bitch. But Tasha, child, you're the good time girl and you just want to have a good time. You want to give him a good time, but you're trying to get a better relationship out of this because you care about this person. Then it makes it a little bit more difficult, especially, girl, when you know that this man had just got out of a 5-year relationship. There's no way that someone gets closure within a couple of weeks, or a couple of, however long they've been broken up, or a couple of days, and they get with you and you're just gonna change their life. It just don't happen like that. So I don't blame Tasha, but there's a reality there that I don't feel like she's seeing. So it still doesn't mean you don't hold him accountable for his actions, because he is up in them guts, girl. But when Issa finds out about homegirl, and you know that moment where you're shocked, everybody knows about this bitch, but you don't know about this bitch? how come you know about this bitch, but I don't know about this bitch? And now that I know about this bitch, now I'm gonna have to see what she look like. Now I'm gonna see what she do. Now I'm gonna see what her job is. I'm gonna see how much money she make. I'm gonna see what type of clothes she wear. I'm gonna see what type of weave she wear. Is it a wig? Is it a weave? Is it body wave? Like, you just keep going on and on and on. Like, who is this bitch? What is, girl? You are going in, and Tasha is a beautiful girl. They're complete opposite, but they're both beautiful women. Well, they don't look similar, but they're both really beautiful women. But when Molly pulls up the picture, I really was upset because y'all are, I mean, I guess it's a good thing that they did it, but sometimes you just don't want to see it at that time. When you find out that your ex-man is fucking somebody else, it is crushing. And you already have a picture of what she looks like in your head before you see her. And then when you see her, you know, you start to feel like, oh shit, here's this bitch with her nice ass titties and her fat ass and her small waist, and that body wave is on point. But guess what? You know, her baby hairs ain't laying down right, and this bitch over here with the ashy lip. I mean, you just go on and on about this bitch in your head, when of course she doesn't deserve it. And that's why Issa said she didn't want to unleash that on her. But of course, Issa goes to the bathroom, does that wonderful freestyle that she always does, and just, you know, lets the mirror have it. And of course, when Molly walks in, she said, pull that bitch up. And of course, that sets off the rabbit hole. First, you don't want to know, okay? Then you want to see the pictures. Then once you see the pictures, you want to, you know, you just keep going down that hole. And that's why she stopped by the girl job, because seeing her is enough. You want to see what is it about her that took him away from you. Because she felt like when they had that moment that she was pulling him back in, when she wasn't. I think Lawrence shows avoidant behavior. He avoids certain situations. So he doesn't like to be in a vulnerable state. Even though he tries to make it seem like he's a nice guy, he kind of ignores the feelings of everyone in the situation. You could see it the last episode, how inconsiderate he was. And this is small, but when he was blowing up that mattress, thinking about himself, blowing up the mattress while homeboy was watching TV, that would irritate the shit out of me. But his behaviors are just kind of like, he seems like he feels like down on himself, and that people should be there for him because he's a nice guy. But bitch, bye. With Lawrence, he's going with his friend. He goes to go look at this apartment, and you can see this shitty ass friend over here engaged or married or whatever, and he's looking at the chick, the realtor. How can you experience any growth with friends like that? So Lawrence looks at this apartment, and he's like, he likes it, but then towards the end, they said that he would have to jump on it, and he's unsure. Bitch, you ain't got no house. It's a nice place. It was an obvious, just get it. But he still seems like he's unsure about where he wants to be. So while Issa is down the rabbit hole and starting to go track this bitch and go to the bank and see this bitch, Molly is out there in the courtyard outside of his job trying to look out for her friend, trying to see if she can get some information from him. And when she walks up to him, she asks him how he's doing, blah, blah, blah. They have a chat, have a conversation. And she outright asked him whether or not she would get another chance. I felt like Molly jumped the gun. For me, as a friend, I wouldn't want to know the answer of would he want to get back together. I actually wouldn't even want to talk to him, because this is the game. Even if you're going to play the game, girl. Because you got to leave him wanting, girl. You got to dangle the carrot, okay? How's Issa? Oh, she's good. That's it. For me, I would have my friend not say anything about me at all. Just like, oh no, she doesn't really talk about it that much. She's dealing with it on her own. That's it. That's how you play the game. You keep them guessing, bitch. Take notes, I'm just saying. But I guess you don't always have to play a game if you're in love with somebody. So Issa decides to go, oh yeah, before they even look at the apartment, when she goes over his house, she goes over the house where he's staying, and homeboy is just, oh, he's skeevy. He's asking about her hair. He's asking, he's looking at her funny. I just don't, that friend, every guy has a friend like that you really don't know what's going on in his brain, and he ain't shit. And that when he's with him, you know he ain't up to shit. So you just like, ugh, this dumbass friend. Okay, so while all this is going on, Lawrence ends up telling Tasha about him sleeping with Issa. And to me, there was this weird parallel of, you know, now they're not in a relationship. So he don't really owe her anything. But like I said, he knows that he is using her. And he's using these avoidant behaviors to act like he wants to be with her, knowing full well that he don't want to be with Tasha. But they're sitting on the couch, and when Issa goes over the house to check and see where he is, he's over there at Tasha's house just chilling, watching this, you know, this movie or whatever. And she's talking about Tasha's going to a barbecue, and he busts out on her saying that he cheated on her. Well, see, if you know you don't owe her anything, you're just trying to clear your conscience. If you know that this relationship isn't going anywhere, why would you even tell her? I feel like he does this nice guy thing and he tries to unleash his guilt and he puts it off on her. You both know you're not in a relationship, okay? So you don't owe her anything. Just stops. The thing is, he wants to spend more time with her and basically waste her time at his convenience. And him telling her cleared his conscience. I don't think it did. It just hurt Tasha. And if he knew he wasn't following through with it, then he would, I think he should have kept it to his fucking self. Is that like an unpopular sort of opinion? Because to me, like, even when I was dating my now husband, before we, oh, is that a fly? Before we make an agreement that we're going to be exclusive, what you did before this moment is none of my fucking business. Because I'm not your girl. We didn't say anything about being exclusive. So I can't ask you or even, I wouldn't even try and get your feelings wrapped up into what I'm doing because it's none of my fucking business. It just really isn't. So him telling her just to me was like, Lawrence, like, you know you're not trying to go to this girl's family reunion. You know you don't care about that pie crust that her mom was talking about. Like, what the fuck? But I will say this. Tasha, them titties were sitting. When she was sitting on that couch and she had on like that crop top, them titties, though, those look like them perfect C cups. Just, So, when he went up to her house all in the middle of the night, real Omarion in the middle of the rain, sort of bullshit, and she was just like, oh, it's fine, of course, being agreeable and just wanting to spend time with him, you know. When she asked him, she said she was inside cooking and she said it was fine and asked him if he wanted something to eat. It just kind of was like, dang, girl. It seems like her heart is in her puss. And when your heart's in your puss, girl, you need to just lock that thing up. Because, I mean, but he did blow her back out. So probably he probably hit her heart through her puss. I'm just saying. So when it comes to Issa's job, she seems to be, I really do feel like there is a parallel between her job and what's going on. And she seems to be gaining clarity on her relationship and gaining clarity on her job. And with her job, she's, you know, she works with We Got You. Is it We Got You, You Got Us? Something like that. With that program for schools, and they've been trying to get more kids to come. And finally, they talk to the principal, and the principal obviously comes off as this, you know, like that black dude that still thinks he's pro-black when he's actually he just hates everything else. He's like a sexist, fucking doesn't like other cultures and shit like that when he was talking to those Hispanic kids and stuff. He just comes off to me as like one of those people that creates this hierarchy with black people. So, or people of color. He creates a hierarchy with people of color. So, Issa and them actually talked to me. He made like a wall joke, which was a horrible joke that made you go like, "Ooh, Jesus," which shocked the little white girl out of her dry shampoo. Like girl was done. And Issa was slightly shocked, but we know that type of stuff happens within our community as well. So I can understand Issa's point of view where she felt like everything was on the line for her, and she really wanted to get this school to another place, and they wanted to drop her off of the program when she started all this last season, drop her all off of the program and move out of high schools if something happens. And I think the only thing that she was afraid of was something changing, but at the same time, you can't leave that stuff unreported. I definitely would have reported it, but maybe Issa felt pressures on her side. So speaking of jobs, we move over to Molly. Molly's deciding that she wants to make as much money as her equal, the white male counterpart, and she's doing everything she can to make sure she can do that. So she goes to, I love it when she goes in the office and she talks to the boss's assistant. I don't know what his name was. And the exchange there, the amount of, the conversation that that happens between black women in those quiet moments when you're in an office is somehow comforting to me, where, and we all don't speak the same way. It's not like we all use slang and girl and stuff like that. But you don't feel judged when you, she understood exactly what Molly was doing before she even did it. So when she said, "I'm scared of you," I was like, girl, yes, you better. She recognized what she was trying to do because she empathized with the moment that Molly was having. So Molly goes and she, goes to this hockey game. She does everything she can. She almost camouflages to be in this space where she can move through and try and create this result. Do whatever she can to make sure she can get the pay that she needs. And it doesn't work. The next day, homeboy forgets about who she is, forgets about the conversation and the laugh that they had, which I already knew would happen. We all knew that shit would happen. And then she goes to, then she finally gets on her computer and goes back to what she knows, which is working hard and doing what black women mostly have to do, is work harder than everybody else to get exactly what she wants. So she's going to be getting paid that amount, but she actually has to work. She can't just chum it up with some white dude in the office and make that much money. And you could see when she was in her counseling session before all this happened is that she has this, she shoulds herself to death. She's shoulding on herself. Where you should and you say, if I do this and if I do that, then this will happen. And it doesn't ever work like that for anybody, but especially women of color in the workplace and in relationships. We have so much stacked against us that when we say, if I do this and if I do that, this will happen, that equation doesn't work for us. If we work hard, things still may not come to fruition, but what are we going to do outside of that? And that's why you have a lot of women of color. That's why black women are the most educated in this country. Yeah, that was the episode. I barely drank. But I guess I will see y'all. I will see y'all on Wednesday with my Stairmaster workout video. And I can't wait to see you next week with the next episode of Insecure. So thank you so much for watching, beautiful loves. I will see you soon. Bye.